everybody, and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. Do us a favour, hit that like button and subscribe, because today we've got really an exciting video. Team of the season so far. And as you saw from the thumbnail, Mr. Santa Claus here, and for some reason I have to be the Grinch.
I need to go get that hat, don't I, really?
Actually, yeah, where is your hat?
Shall I go grab it? I think it's in the drawer. Oh, let me go grab it.
Go and get it. So, guys, team of the season so far. It's going to be interesting, especially from Scott's track record. He's probably going to have 6, maybe 7 Arsenal players from the guys that know him already. We know what he's like. I love it.
I'm wearing red as well. That's that gives it well, doesn't it?
Can't make it up. Scott, should we dive right in? Let's start with you. Who is your first player? We'll start with goalkeeper. And we should say, guys, we've gone for a 4-3-3 with one defensive midfielder.
Yeah, for sure. And to be honest, I was thinking about this goalkeeper position, and I was wondering if I was being a bit biased, because I've actually gone for the actual club I support, not the speculated club, Wolverhampton Wanderers. I've actually gone for Jose Sarr. Now, this bloke has the highest save percentage in Europe at the moment. And, 7 clean sheets to his name. And just having watched him every game, I think, the fact that he saves, he's probably saved us 6 or 7 points. And I think, he's been an underrated asset, and people are starting to realise how good he is. And I think you're surprised I haven't gone Ramsdale, aren't you?
I am surprised you haven't gone Ramsdale. But I'm glad you went Sarr, because 7 clean sheets, only 14 conceded. He also has an assist to his name, as well as all the stats that you gave. I think if Jose Sarr was at Leicester or West Ham or someone like that, everyone would be talking about him like they are Ramsdale. But because he's at little old Wolves, I haven't heard one pundit say anything good about him. But we move on. Not being biased, Jose Sarr has been the best keeper in the league this season for me.
Definitely.
Let's go left back, because I feel like this is going to be a shutout. I'm just going to say it. Cancelo?
Yeah, just put him in. I don't think there's even much of a debate on this one. Obviously, funny enough, he's got the second most passes in the league, which is probably a testament to not just him, but the way that Man City play. You nearly put him in a left wing there. I think that would have been a bit up for debate, but
he could play anywhere. 1 goal, 6 assists already this season as well. He only missed 1 game this season, and that was the 7-0 victory over Leeds. So he plays week in, week out, plays in the Champions League. He's the best in the world, isn't he? Would you say?
Yeah, and funny enough, I mean, right back was his original position, and he's just settled into that left back position so well, hasn't he? And made it his own. And probably there isn't a better left back in the world at the moment, I'd agree.
No, I don't think so. Scott, should we go one by one for the centre-back partnerships? Or I tell you what, give me your 2, because we must have one that we agree on. And then we can debate the other.
For sure. I think the most obvious one of them is going to be Ruben Diaz.
Yeah,
I mean, he's 100% got to go in. I think there's no debate on that one. And the other one that I'm going to throw out, and I'm hoping you agree, because I don't have any fancy stats or anything. This is purely just gone from a watching him basis. I've gone from Rudiger.
Yeah, I've gone for Rudiger as well. 2 goals this season. He's actually got 3 assists as well to his name. So, and we know that Chelsea have been defensively just monstrous this season. He's personally only conceded 12 goals when he's been on the pitch for Chelsea. I think he's so good going forward now. He carries the ball a bit like what Maguire used to do for Leicester. Rudy's doing that now as well. No, I have to agree. I think Rudy. There have been other players as well who I think you could argue should go in. I mean, you could argue his partner in crime, Thiago and Christensen, could go in. Van Dijk, of course, is always top class. But I think Rudy deserves it.
Yeah, for sure. And outside the top 6, are probably just throwing Kurt Zuma's name, who I think's been fantastic. Max Tillman as well at Wolves. But as you say, I think it is Rudiger. Let's move on to the right back, because this could be our first debate. I've actually gone for Reece James.
Well, I'm sorry to say you've gone for the wrong answer. So
let me just turn it to our debate screen then. Who have you gone for?
The debate screen. I'm just going to, while you're doing that, I'm just going to put Trent in. So you explain why you've got Reece James wrong, and I'll just put Trent.
Well, I think it's a matter of whether you prefer a defensive or an attacking
Oh, you've
right
made
back,
the
isn't it?
mistake.
Because Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's defeated. He has Reece James beat, doesn't he, on the assists and everything going forward. But when you actually look at Reece James' defensive stats, are by far superior, and his attacking stats haven't been that bad either. Trent isn't a bad choice at all, but I do think defensively he has had some mistakes in him.
This is a coin flip at the end of the day, really,
Yeah.
isn't it? But for me, Trent is one of the best players in the world, not just as a right back. And the fact that Gareth Southgate can't find a position for him for England is why we'll never win anything. Roberto Carlos wasn't great defending, but look at him going forward. You have to get these players onto the football pitch. I think Trent's the best.
Who did he choose above Alexander-Arnold for right back?
Kyle Walker.
Actually, fair point.
Cutting edge knowledge from
Right, let me ask you
Sweden.
this one then, because this one could be decided either way. It's just a matter of preference. If there was one fan base that you would rather trigger more, would it be Liverpool or Chelsea?
Are you saying that because we've got a very close friend who's a Chelsea fan?
Exactly, and that's why we are going to stick with what you've said and put Trent Alexander-Arnold in.
You know what? I love Reece James. The reason I've chose Trent is not because I don't like Reece James. I love him. But Trent, 2 goals, 8 assists. 8 assists. Do you know he recorded 8 assists last season? He's already on 8 now.
Yeah,
I just think he gets the edge from me. And with that team, because it's so good defensively, you can afford to have Trent.
I'm happy to go with it.
Right. Scott, I'm going to literally give you the DM position because I've wrote down 3 names: Rice, Decore, and Rodri. I've spent about 20 minutes looking at all the stats, remembering highlights. I can't choose. I'm just going to give it you. For the first time we've ever done this, I'm going to give it you.
Well, I've actually gone for the player that I've suggested to have on our thumbnail. That was Declan Rice. No surprise there. At the moment, he's the the top midfielder for interceptions. He's also in the top 10 for tackles made in the league. So and that's including defenders as well. So you're just asking what you want a defensive midfielder to do. They're probably the 2 main stats, and he's leading the way on both of them.
Yeah, I mean, Decore's been so good. He had I think he missed 4 games in a row, and Everton really were struggling anyway, and struggled even more so. The problem is, if we're doing it on ability, pure ability, it probably would just be Rodri. But that's not what this is about. You have to encompass it with the team that they're playing for. Exactly. And I think if Rice was in that City team, I think he'd be doing just as well, would you argue?
Yeah, probably better, to be honest. I think Declan Rice has been an absolute star this season for West Ham. And yeah, I think, West Ham have been brilliant in general. And I think, he definitely deserves to be in the team of the season for sure. Another name that does deserve to be in that midfield, I've got to say, his career was nearly over at Manchester City, let's not forget. But I think you've got to put Bernardo Silva in there.
7 goals already this season. 7 goals and 3 assists. This guy is unbelievable. I think Bernardo Silva is one of those players where I don't know who that Chinese man is, but it's certainly not Bernardo Silva.
Type in Silva, see what comes up. There he is.
Bernardo Silva is one of those players where if you judge him on his career in, say, 8, 9, 10 years based on just his stats, you'll go, yeah, good player, but, wasn't scoring as much as other midfielders, other attackers. But if you judge Gascoigne and George Best on just their stats, you're never going to get a fair judgment of who the player was. My granddad says that George Best is the greatest player he's ever seen, and he said that when he was like 20, 25. But if you look at Best's stats, probably compares nothing to nowadays. You have to see the way this guy plays. He's probably the best in that position in the league.
Well, you say position. The fact as well that I put him in is he's played so many. He's played as a false number 9. Let's not forget could play on the left wing, right wing. We could have put him anywhere in that forward position. I think he's been absolutely superb. And as you can see, I've already turned it to the debate screen because I know this next position we are not going to agree on at all.
Oh, well, if we don't agree on the next player, then you really have had a stinker.
So this is more of our attacking mid, I would say.
Oh, you've gone for Emil Smith Rowe, haven't you?
How did you guess?
You have, haven't you?
Yeah.
Give me your
I have
stats.
indeed.
Give me your stats.
I knew this was good. This is why I turned it to the debate screen straight away, because I knew you'd be absolutely fuming and your face says it all. Where are my stats? 7 goals, 2 assists, but it's more or less about the stats and just what he has done for Arsenal. He's him, you know, the likes of Saka as well, who isn't in my team. You'll be glad to know, because I think you'd be even more fuming. But yeah, Emil Smith Rowe, he's led that resurgence for Arsenal. And once again, you've gone from being in a relegation position to battling the top 4. And you know what? They could even finish above 4th this season, the momentum that they're building. And that's pretty much down to the likes of Smith Rowe. And that's why, for me, he has to go in.
Disclaimer. I like Emil Smith Rowe. The way that he carries the ball is like I almost feel like he's better than Grealish. I'm not saying he's a better player. Let me just get that right. The way he carries the ball from his own half into the opposition, he glides across the pitch. I really like this guy.
I'm just waiting to see who you're going to say, to be honest.
I can't look past Conor Gallagher. I think he's the reason why Crystal Palace aren't fighting relegation. Zaha is not having a great season by his previous years. Benteke is having a decent season by his standards, but Conor Gallagher's gone to Palace from Chelsea. 6 goals and 5 assists so far this season. And one of I will be honest, I did consider Smith Rowe. Conor Gallagher's only missed 1 game this season, and that was the first game of the season in the 3-0 defeat to Chelsea. Whereas Emil Smith Rowe, because Palace doesn't have as much of a decent squad as Arsenal, I think he's come off the bench for a few of his goals in the last month or so. I think he's had 2 or 3 subs appearances in the league, but 6 goals and 5 assists from Palace.
I will concede that it took him a bit, didn't it, Smith Rowe, to be the starter. He did have to battle, particularly at the start of the season. And I've got to be honest, I had another player written down that I'd happily concede to, and that was Conor Gallagher. So I'm quite happy to know that we're probably both on the same page here in terms of we're not a miles off the mark. So if anyone comes at us, we can back up our talk. But I'll concede.
Are you just saying that so we can hurry up with the video, or are you actually happy with Conor Gallagher?
No, he's legit written down. I had his stats written down because I thought if there is someone else I'd have to suggest, because I knew you would hate Smith Rowe, the idea of it.
I like him. I just don't think he's... I think if Gallagher was in that Arsenal team with that Arsenal midfield and front line, I think he'd have more than 6 goals and 5 assists. Could you say that about Emil Smith Rowe? And I saw an article today, breaking news, Sweet and Sour Soccer. Palace are prepared to pay 60 million for him to Chelsea.
Palace fans set up a GoFundMe, haven't they, to raise the 50 million it would cost to bring him to the club.
That's brilliant. I love that. I think Gallagher's a shoo-in. I like Smith Rowe. I wouldn't be against him being in there. I think Gallagher deserves it.
I think it's irony, isn't it, against the Chelsea loan system that we haven't actually got a Chelsea midfielder in there, but we've got the one that they've decided to send out on loan who's playing.
Yeah, that is the irony.
Let's move on to the most easiest one of them all, and that is Salah, isn't it? Let's just stick him in and move on. Probably the best player in the world right now. I think that's fair to say. Ronaldo and Messi slightly dropping off. And I think Salah's stepped up. His stats are absolutely phenomenal. He's the top scorer, the top assist maker. So unless you're a diehard Everton fan or a United fan, I don't see anyone arguing this one. And I don't think they'd even argue it. They'd just hate the fact that he isn't there.
No one's arguing with this. How can you have 15 goals after 18 games coupled with 10 assists? 15 goals and 10 assists after 18 games. It's frightening. And we should give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back because back in, I think it was like middle of September, not even towards the end, we said after about 3 or 4 Premier League games, this is the best player in the world right now. And a lot of people didn't come around to that school of thought until about November, really. So go and check it out, guys. Go and check out our Salah video where we said he was the best in the world. This guy's just a monster, isn't he? What can you say? Do we just move on? Guys, sorry about that. As you saw, yes, we are frauds. We are losers. We do apologise. But it came at good timing because we were just about to move on from the legend that is Mo Salah. And Scott, I think there's going to be a little bit more of a debate on the left winger. But I do feel like we've got the same striker. I think we must have.
Pretty obvious.
What?
I said it's pretty obvious who it's going to be.
Emmanuel Dennis.
No. It's got to be Antonio. Think what he's done for West Ham this season. So he's got 6 goals, 4 assists. I kind of remind you, unlike another striker that could have been mentioned, Ronaldo, none of Antonio's goals have been penalties.
So just give me those stats again for Antonio.
6 goals, 4 assists. Why do I feel like Dennis has done better and I've completely overlooked him?
7 goals, 6 assists for a relegation battling side.
Any penalties?
Listen, I don't know. Have Watford had a penalty this season? To be honest, I don't know if Watford have had a penalty this season. I'm sure if their fans are watching, they'll be saying
they've had more managers than they have penalties.
Listen, disclaimer, I love Antonio. I think he's so good. He's so unconventional and it works for him. But, man, 7 goals and 6 assists for a relegation fighting team. I mean, and it's not even Christmas yet.
Unfortunately, the stats are better, so I don't know what to say. You've won.
I did write Antonio down. Another player that I wrote down was Diogo Yota, but he's got 10 goals this season, but only 1 assist.
He has, and
he's playing for Liverpool.
He came quite like, he didn't start the season magically either, did he? And, he's playing alongside Salah as well. So, no, he wasn't on my list.
I will say one thing about Diogo Yota. I think he scored 6 headers this season. The guy's 5'8", 5'9". It's incredible how good he is in the air, his positional awareness. Right, is it decided? Are we going Dennis?
Yes, put Dennis in. And whilst you are, I'm going to speak about my left wing choice. Now, naturally, this bloke doesn't play on the left wing, but I just don't see how you could leave him out, to be honest. And that would be Rafinha. 8 goals for Leeds this season. He's in the top 10 for crosses as well. And without Rafinha, I mean, Leeds aren't in a great place in general, but without him, God, they'll basically be in relegation. Oh, come on. Again. No, you've gone someone else.
You're going to hate it. I don't
want to open my eyes until I've heard who it is.
Mason Mount.
Mason Mount.
Scott,
come off it.
He's only played 974 league minutes this season. He's got 7 goals and 5 assists. He averages a goal or an assist every 81 minutes. That's world-class level.
I don't care. He's not going in. It's as simple as that.
I like Rafinha, but
put Rafinha in. Look, I am not having Mason Mount, and it ends there. Do I have an agenda against him? Maybe I do, but Rafinha is going in. I'm not having Mount in my team of the season, our team of the season so far.
Well, guys, that's it. Our team of the season so far. Any parting words, Scott?
I think it was brilliant. I'd love people to let me know in the comments if they disagree, and let me know if you do disagree why you're wrong. And also hit that like button, subscribe, and we shall see you on the next one. Goodbye.